And we're back with another episode of the Make It Make Sense podcast. We are the favorites podcast. So it is your host and co-host, one Swayze, and I got my boy.
QB. And we got Sabir in the building with us
Yes,
today.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you for joining us today, man. Definitely an honor to have you in here with us. And once again, this is the Den series, Quinn. We are doing another independent artist showcase, and we got Sabir with us.
Hey, man, showing that ground, man. You know, that underground artist ground, man. We trying to show love, man. Everybody be showing love on the Breakfast Club and everything. They be showing love to the ones that done made it. We trying to show love to the ones that trying to
Yeah,
make it. You feel
yeah,
me?
absolutely. That's needed right now more than ever. You know what I mean? With so many artists using resources online and building their own brands and platforms, like now's the time for that.
Definitely, and we gonna, like I said, dive into that. While we're here, though, man, tell them a little bit about yourself, man. Tell them where you're from, and yeah, introduce yourself.
Definitely. So, my name is Sabir. I go by my stage name is my birth name. It's an Arabic word that means patience. I was born in California, raised out here in Georgia, Macon, Georgia, Central Georgia. Definitely is where I found home at. But still got love for the West Coast as well. Um, I started doing music, man. Shoot, if you want to take it back, technically, I started doing music in seventh grade. Just kind of as just like my homies were like, what if we rapped? And we was just like, yeah, like let's do it. Which I feel like we need to do more of now. Like, like what if we did this and just do it? But we started rapping, ended up enjoying it. But then I kind of shifted into producing at a certain point, got into that real heavy. And then more recently, after college in 2013, I kind of embraced the microphone again and just put my voice out there and some of the things that I'm passionate about, and the what I think I can add to the world. So at this point, it's pretty much just like I'm passionate about writing, producing, all facets of just the creation process of music. And me and my team based out of Central Georgia, we're putting together some really cool stuff right now.
That's dope. That's dope. I agree, man, and I like what you said. Me and my team. Me and my team. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because it takes a village. It takes a foundation,
yeah,
especially when you're doing it independent. And you touched on some things. Doing your own production, putting your
yeah.
hands in a little bit of everything. In the creative process. So definitely, kudos to you on that, man. And we gonna talk, man. I don't know if Quinn, and advise. I'm an artist as well, so
Word, word.
we work as a team. I have a few teams, producers and people that I know and
Yeah,
networks. So yeah,
yeah.
man, we gonna dive into it, man. I'm excited about this episode. How about you, QB?
Man, it's gonna be a good episode for sure, man. Sabir is a good friend of mine. We go way back. You know, he one of my hooping friends too. Swayze,
Okay,
he can hoop too. So he one of those multifaceted people, man.
nice.
And and actually, just like I got a song, I do have a song with each one of y'all. But but yeah, Sabir, I think that was the first ever verse I did, and
Yeah,
I went to Sabir house
Oh
and did a
wow.
verse.
Okay.
I'll tell
yeah.
you, we're gonna go into that a little later. But yeah, man, that was crazy. That's been a while ago. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
we gonna get into everything. We gonna get to everything. But we gotta pay some bills first, and then we'll be right back after these messages.
Yes,
Attention
sir.
content creators, do you have a great podcast, short film series, and need a home to show it to millions of households, plus countless smartphone users? Streets TV is hip hop for the world. Contact us at Streets TV Worldwide at gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at Streets TV World. It's Streets TV, hip hop for the world.
And we're back, man. Welcome back to the Make It Make Sense podcast. We got Sabir in the building with us today. And
Yep, yep, yep.
I'm gonna let you start us off, man. Go right ahead, Q. See what you got for him.
Man, all right. So, I do got I figure a kind of good question anyway. Like, what motivates you to do music? Like, to continue to do it. You know what I'm saying? You say you started when you was in seventh grade, really. You know what I'm saying? What motivates you to do it?
Um, I think the greatest thing is, I mean, you see a lot of times people say you got to find your why, like you got to find what keeps you going, or else you're gonna quit. For me, I think music is something that I use to channel a lot of my the things that I want to grow in myself. So I use music as an outlet, almost like a soundtrack to the ways that I'm trying to grow. And that's just my choice of soundtrack, but or my choice of outlet rather. But it could have been any outlet, but for me, I chose music. So for me, it's really easy to stick to it because I'm not necessarily doing it trying to, hit X amount of sales or whatever the case may be. Like that comes with the territory, but the foundation of why I do it is something that is independent of any type of metric. It's just kind of for me to be able to have a way to fuel myself through life as I grow through life. Um, that's the simplest way that I could put it. Pretty much is what keeps me going. Yeah,
That's dope, man. That is dope, man. I look at it also in the same way.
yeah,
Because it's more so that creative expression, that way to get those things maybe that was in your past or now that are,
yeah,
just items that you're touching on that may be very, it can be personal or it can be an experience from someone else or something you saw growing up
yeah,
that you kind of can put into the music and put out to the world. And as you know, as an artist, we, kind of hold each song as like our baby, you know what I'm saying, when putting it out there to the world. So it's very
mm-hmm.
precious to us. And I commend you. Definitely salute the confidence for wanting to jump out and put the music out into the world and not look for the monetary gain, but just look for the growth,
Yeah,
the passion, the what can we say, the intellect that
yeah,
you're putting into these lyrics, into
yeah,
these words, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't get that these days, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're a Kendrick Lamar, unless you're a J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? You're
yeah,
not getting that conscious, that, more so story,
yeah.
poetry flow, you know what I'm saying? So
Thanks.
I agree with you on that, man. Definitely. My
I,
biggest thing, man. I know I was looking, scrolling through your page, like I stated. I know you had mentioned something about Kobe growing up in
yeah,
LA. You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? Like, how big was Kobe as far as your inspiration and your drive and seeing him? Long live Kobe. R.I.P. Kobe. But
Yeah,
seeing that
yeah.
happen, like, how did that really affect you?
Man, so Kobe was pretty much he was my favorite player. He's who
Mhm.
I related to the most when it came to my man. When it came to, just seeing his approach to the game, his skill level, obviously. But then when it comes to my family's a Laker family. So a
Nice.
lot of people were growing up, had like Laker or Kobe versus Bron or Kobe versus whoever arguments with me and just say, oh, you just like the Lakers because of Kobe. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, Kobe was who was there when I grew up. But my family, growing up in Inglewood, like I was born in Inglewood, right around the corner from the Forum.
Okay.
So, it's a little different, coming from a couple generations of Laker fans. Even to this day, like I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but at the end of the day, I still gotta wish the Lakers well, regardless, because that's just in the bloodline. So,
It's crazy you say that, man. I'm a huge LeBron fan, and
yeah,
my fiance is from California,
right,
so it just kind of goes, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Their
yeah,
family's Lakers, and they so Lakers, so you know what I'm
yeah,
saying. I
for
just
sure,
kind of fit right in, and
yeah,
I go
best
where
of
the
both
winners
worlds.
go, I go where the winners go. So
Hey, it's LA. That's definitely LA.
Hey,
how was
Sabir, how long ago did you move from Inglewood? When did you move from Inglewood?
Oh, it was at a very young age. So I got out to Georgia when I was 5. But as far as that type of Laker pride and Laker joy, like we was out here, like we was living in LA when during those championships, everything, like we were celebrating pretty hard. Like we were still out there, right around the corner from Staples.
okay, cool. Was who did you look up to out there? You got Nipsey, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of great artists
Yeah.
out there. So who did you look up to as far as LA? I know you moved here, at
Yeah.
a young age, but who did you like grab that inspiration from?
Growing up, I mean, it would just have to be Kobe. That's just
It's
who,
Kobe.
from out there. That's all it was. I've kind of gravitated recently towards Russell Westbrook. Like when you talk about LA and just like what he's doing for the community out there, and also just the mindset he has, like coming from LA, like people just cut from a certain type of cloth. So for me, one of my biggest inspirations right now is Russell Westbrook.
Nice.
His approach to the game, his approach to his situation, not being a victim in any situation he's in. And I think that that's where the growth is figuring out what's in your circle of control and embracing any type of situation you're in and finding a way. And in life, like, that's the beauty of it, is in finding it. It's not necessarily, in the end result is in the process of finding that way. And for me, Russell Westbrook, coming from the streets of LA, he's doing that right now. But that's been kind of like a recent inspiration, as of maybe the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
What do you say as an artist, where do you see yourself have grown the most within your music?
um, I would say probably my craftsmanship. I know Swayze talked a little bit about it earlier, just in the team concept, which is great and definitely necessary. But I think what people don't realize is that early on is that you have to spend a certain amount of time adding value to yourself and being able to contribute to a team environment.
Hmm.
And so for me, just doing it for so long, I think the thing that I've seen the most growth in is in my craftsmanship, being able to write my bars, for lack of better words, are a lot more impactful. And then just writing in general, I think that that's always been a strength of mine. But over the years, I think I've really kind of refined that, and I'm able to put together a song as well as songwriting for others as well, R&B songs, things like that. Is definitely something I've delved in a lot more recently, and writing take you a long way, in
Oh,
any
yeah.
field.
It can for sure do that. And other people I don't really ask this question to, but I know kind of your penmanship and kind of how you can deviate from different avenues and different whereabouts. So, do you see yourself ever just becoming a ghostwriter for other people?
I will be open to that. I would be. Mainly because when we touched on pretty much why I do it, you got to find in anything that you do, you got to find what's in it for you, and what you get out of it, independent of any type of goals that may be imposed on you by the industry you're in, by people around you, or whatever the case may be. You have to find why you do it, and that oftentimes isn't something that's grandiose or has a money sign attached to it. So for me, why I do music will be the same whether I'm in the front or I'm saying I'm in the studio writing for somebody else, like, because I'm not doing music to be a star per se. Like, a lot of things definitely unfold over time as it comes with the territory, but the basic reasons why I do it will remain the same even if it looks a different way. So I'm definitely open to it looking a different way, but you don't figure that out just by not putting one foot in front of the other. So as I grow, as I progress, that may be an avenue that opens up to me more often, and if so, I'm open to seeing what that looks like.
Okay, that's dope, man. Definitely. Are you still producing your own music? Like, are you producing some of your own tracks?
As of right now, I haven't been producing as much, and it's
Okay.
really mainly because I was heavy on that, and for a while, I think I kind of was in a creative space where I wasn't really testing out just like different styles, because my style is very consistent as far as production goes. And so it's one of those things where I've been testing out just rapping over other people's beats, other people's drum patterns, rhythms, and things like that, so that I could grow, my pen, and be able to expand the different types of production that I'm able um, to rap over. And so I have a project coming out next month, and I don't have any of production on it. I don't think I completely outsourced the production. And that's the first time I ever did that, because my first ever project that I dropped right when I got out of college, all the production was from me. So, and most of the stuff that people know me for is for producing, and it's a little different this way, where I'm focusing on the writing, I'm focusing on the song creation, and not necessarily producing everything on it.
Okay, how important is that? Just for artists that may be looking at this, or people who may be looking in, trying to figure out what they want to do, whether it be engineering, producing, writing,
Yeah.
or being an artist. How important is it to say, look, I want to focus on this and this only right now, and let other people get the opportunity to shine?
Yeah.
How important is that?
I think it's important. I think when it comes to sharpening what you do and different facets of it is even more important, because like I said, I got pretty much where my production was like, wow, like these beats slap, but now I'm getting compliments about my bars. You know what I'm saying? Like before, it wasn't like the bars weren't strong, but the production was obviously where it needed to be at. But then I want the bars to feel the same way too.
So
So now,
basically, you was Kanye and trying to feel, and now you trying to feel the Jay-Z void. I feel you. I feel you.
yeah. I actually, that was kind of a moniker that I was going by at the time too. Like Young Kanye was
Okay.
what I embraced, because Kanye came up especially in a time where he wasn't rapping about things that were popular, and he was known for producing. So people were just like, nah, that ain't it. Like, stay behind the boards. And he actually, in getting in front of the mic, is where he found his real growth at, even though he was a phenomenal producer. So for me, I kind of embraced that same kind of route where, I was a phenomenal producer, but getting in front of the microphone was my next step. Getting back in front of the microphone was my next step.
Dope. I love it, man.
For
I
sure.
love it. I love the energy. I love the drive, man. And I got a lot more questions, QB. What's up, man?
I hold on. I got one more question before we get to commercial break, man. It's a dang, man. I had it in my head, man. Dang, but
I need
no.
that.
How important you think? Well, not how important, but how beneficial is it to you that you can produce your own stuff, and when you hear from other producers, you know what I'm saying, and then you kind of like, you can tell what they're doing and then what you want it to sound like, you know what I'm saying, a little bit better than somebody that don't really be behind the board. So kind of give some light on that. Like, have you ever really ran into a situation where you was like, nah, I didn't really like how he did a certain type of thing while producing it, and then you heard it to your ear of what you're used to hearing from yourself?
Not necessarily that exact situation has never happened, but I think the overall gist of what you're saying is important, because the biggest thing in being able to do a lot of things, at a competent capacity, is that you're able to be in more conversations, you're able to be in more rooms and add value to those spaces, even if that's not exactly what you do. Like if somebody starts talking about engineering and they start talking about different plugins for reverb and echo, like, oh, I know what that means. Or if someone's talking about writing and cadences and things like that, I know what that means. Or when people's talking about production and whether they use FL Studio or Logic, or, do they use this new plugin called Arcade, or whatever the case may be, like I know what all that means. And so being able to be in those conversations and not just be a fly on the wall kind of is the biggest thing that adds there. And then, as far as, just adding streams of revenue and being able to monetize what you do, the more things that you're able to do is important. Like, you don't necessarily have to be a jack of all trades, master of all trades, but being able to do a little bit of some of everything. Like, you don't know what type of opportunities will land on your plate. We actually just got an opportunity, just kind of independent of anything rap or hip hop, to do a commercial for the NFL. We did the music behind a Big Brothers Big Sisters campaign for the NFL, and that was just because we be producing, like, what I'm saying. So it's not had nothing to do with being able to rap or anything like that. And so we were able, they sent us kind of what they wanted it to sound like, and we were able to create it, and that's a gift.
Definitely is. Definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I
That's
was
tough.
just before, I don't know if we got to go to commercial break.
That's it. Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
squeeze this one in, but
Okay.
I was looking and I saw you had a track called "Looking,"
Okay.
and so the first thing when I looked at it was the meme of the guy looking outside the window, and
Yeah.
that it went crazy last year.
Yeah.
Being in COVID, and that was kind of like, man, I wish I could go out. They just had all type of memes and things, and
Yeah.
then under it though it says a tale of action and achievement through one's inability to aimlessly watch and wait. Where did that come about? What was the looking? Give me looking.
So yeah, well, looking, I really love that record, and it's one of those things where I was just trying to get back into motion. It had been a minute since I put anything out, and so I just dropped looking, and it was one of those things where I didn't have any type of like particular huge campaign or rollout strategy or anything like that. I just dropped it, and I just wanted it up and out. So it might be something I revisit because I really do like that record, but the base of the record is why I did that is because after a certain time period of just watching people do the type of things that you say you want to do, like at what point are you going to stop looking and get in on the action? And so I think too many of us are in that large percentage of people who are just going to watch things unfold, and I want to be in that small percentage of people who are actually doing the things that they want to achieve. And so that's where looking came about. That the cover, it's funny that you had brought it up. It fit perfectly. And I have to plug my boy because I know who created that meme. My homie Elijah Rutland, he's going crazy right now on social media and building his brand. You can follow him at Fix My Soul on IG. He does, custom designs on clothing. He just did a custom Beats by Dre for the All-Star team at this year's All-Star game. So he's going crazy right now. He actually created that, and that was, obviously, a year or so ago, and it went crazy. But he's done so much since then. So definitely check bro out.
Shout out, Fix My Soul, man.
Yes, sir.
QB was actually giving him his flowers. We gotta have him on the show, QB, and you need
Yeah.
to make that happen.
Yeah, we got to set
Yeah.
that up.
We need to
He
make
one
that
of my
happen.
old students, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I feel good about it, man. I be like, dang, they doing their thing, man.
Yeah.
For real.
It's crazy. I taught a young lady that's actually now she works for NASA, and she's a head of some type of recruitment for the NASA minority type program. So that's dope. Her name's Brianna. She used to go to Central as well. So
Okay.
man, those young people are doing wonderful things, man.
Yeah.
Especially Elijah doing big things with the NBA All-Star weekend, Beats by Dre, crazy, and continue to do those customs, crazy customs that he doing, man. But yeah, we do got a commercial break to go to, guys. So we'll be back after these messages. But y'all, stay tuned. All right.
Spanglish, the only thing you need to season your food with. Get yours today.
That's why I dance with that's why I dance with.
If you haven't already, go purchase your Spanglish. I got 2 of them today. I'm so excited to see what it tastes like on my food, bro. She say you don't need nothing else but Spanglish.
Spanglish.
Yes.
Shout out.
One thing that I was gonna touch on before we went to break, and we are back once again, make it make sense. We do have Sabir in the building. It's your boy QB. So, and one Swayze. I see we have a lot of kind of mutual friends, mutual acquaintances as well. And I was, look, like I said, scrolling through. How did the relationship and the collab with you and Grip come about?
Man, so Grip's manager was one of my good friends from college. So we pretty much were in the same program In college, we took a lot of the same classes. I think we both kind of were in that space where we don't know exactly what we're gonna do with our degree, but this is what makes the most sense for what we like to do. Just in staying in contact and connecting with him, he did a lot of things in Atlanta, just staying in the scene. And when he started building with Grip, I definitely reached out to him. I actually linked up with him up in New York, and he had played me some stuff that Grip was about to put out. And I was straight up with him. I was like, we need to talk about getting him on a record. He was like, he was down to make that happen. And then a few months later, I had one that kind of made sense, and we kind of went from there.
I like how you plugged this right there. Made it make sense, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're here
They just
for.
roll off the tongue so easily, don't they?
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. We always make sense.
I just wanted to know, man. Like I said, I got a few. We got a few mutual friends. I've seen Grip here and there in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Pretty cool guy, pretty solid, down to earth. So I just wanted to,
he's killing it right
and
now.
I saw y'all shot the video as well. So
yeah, down in South by Southwest in
Yeah.
Austin, Texas.
Yo,
and how is it? How important is it to go to these festivals as well? With COVID being kind of closed, we weren't able to move around with A3C South by Southwest. So what were your experiences? Because I've never been to South by Southwest. So what was your experience at South by Southwest? I've always just did A3C. We did the Revolt conference down in Miami, but we never did South by Southwest.
Yeah.
So how was that?
I think when you've gotten to a point where you're kind of on certain media runs and things like that, you do have to touch base and show your face at certain established events and things like that. For an independent artist that's on the rise and wants to get their foot in the door and things like that, I don't think it's as necessary as it used to be. In the sense of there's so many different avenues to get on the radar now. It's not as clear cut as going down to South by Southwest and meeting somebody who's going to change your career. But my experience there was still, from someone who grew up in the blog era of hip hop and saw all their favorites go through the South by Southwest circuit, it was something that I definitely wanted to do as well. And it's something that I'm open to going back to. But that was kind of my biggest takeaway too, was that I don't think it's as important as it maybe was 8-9 years ago. As far as crucial that you have to be here. But it could work out. Just got to do what makes sense again. Yeah.
Hey, but the crazy thing about those events, though, you meet a lot of people that in 3 or 4 years from that day that you meet them, they may be somebody completely different. Because me and Smike, we always talk about this. Me and One Swayze. But we went to A3C, like, what was it, like
15, 16.
15, 16? And we met Jessie Reyes there. And she been doing big things since then. I was like, dang. We met her, had a good conversation, exchange, all type of contacts and things of that nature. And then I think maybe 2 years, 3 years later, she on the Relapse album. And then after that, Beyonce, and then it just was crazy. I was like, dang, bro, like you never know who you meet at certain events like that. And
that's why, man, like, oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just you saying that. I think that's why it's so important to like network on your level. Like too many times people spend so much of their efforts trying to reach up, for people who don't really have incentive to pull you up, unless you're adding something specifically of value to that person. Right. But finding people around you who's going to be the next one to be up because you believe you're going to be the next one to be up, and connecting with those people and y'all go up together is how everyone does it, so it's much more bang for your time and your effort to find those people who are already at your level, who you're passionate about just as much as you're passionate about yourself, and network there.
I agree. And not to only say Jessie, because we did, connect and everything, but also her manager was there as well, and we've been tight ever since. I ran into him at the last A3C. I want to say maybe last year or something. And we connected like we never, like it was back in 2015. And he always shows love. I always, talk to him and still hit him here and there. So even, if you don't get to that artist, it's also crucial and beneficial to maybe get to someone in that camp
And they're right. Yeah,
or
who they're
that
around.
manager like you did,
Sure. Yeah.
with your friend, y'all closely were in school together. You use the
Yeah.
manager. Look, can I get, grip on this?
Yep.
And it works out, so that's just one of those things to also just kind of put out there to people. Like, it's like you said, don't always aim for the big fish. Sometimes you have to
Right.
start little and it grows into that. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
I look at it like this too, man. Like DJ Drama, DJ Envy, Khaled, right? They all started at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, and then when you see them kind of now, it's like, yeah, they always have a story. Like, I've been knowing him for 15 years. And you like,
Yeah.
dang, like I didn't even know you knew him 15 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's like those type of stories. You hear those type of stories, like they've been knowing each other for a long time. It just took those milestones for somebody to like, all right, this person right here made it before I did, and then he came along, and then he just like, okay, like they know each other now. Nah, they've
Yeah.
been knowing each other. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
grew up, they grew differently at different times, but they were growing at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then
bro.
when you working in an industry, man, like any type of field, and you're gonna know who's working because you're gonna see them in the same places, even
Right.
if y'all are not necessarily doing something together.
Right.
You're gonna bump shoulders, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that's another key is that so many people, try to or think that it's always like just one static event that changes things, but it's whenever I like bump into someone famous or whatever the case may be, my goal is to see them somewhere else, see them again, before I even, discuss,
Right.
doing something
Anything.
with that person because they need to see that you're working. And the easiest way to do that is you're going to bump into them again.
Right.
Yeah.
I
For sure.
agree.
For
I
sure.
agree. And
I think
I'm glad you made that point because it goes just back to trusting the process.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the hardest part about anything, right? It's trusting that process, bro. I'm going through it right now with my brand and with my beer company. And
Mhm.
you have I think it's downtime at any point in business, right?
Mhm.
Like, or with everything and anything that you do. I think we had a person on the show named FNG Hayes, like maybe 2 weeks, maybe like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago now, but and
Yep.
he was like, at some point he was like, bro, I ain't even gonna rap no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just chill. And
Yeah.
he was like, that passion came back, and then I'm going full throttle again. And
Yeah.
so I think everybody had that moment where it's kind of like, dang, like I don't know, like I don't know no more. But then you closer to where you were before you started. You know what I'm saying? So your marathon's still going, but you closer to where you want to end than where you want to begin, where you started
Yeah.
at. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's
That's,
how I look at it. You just gotta continue the process and see where the process take you, even if
yeah.
even if it take you a different route. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I
Just know
was just about
the
to say that, bro. Because
process.
like my biggest advice to anybody feeling that way is trust the process, but don't be scared to refine it either. See if when you feel like giving up, see if there's something you can do differently. Try to attack it a different way.
Mm.
Switching up the approach a little bit because in anything like as far as building a brand, like you have best practices, you have mentors, you have people who have done it before who could give you solid advice and things like that. But at the end of the day, there's still no blueprint. You have to do it your way. And in figuring that out, sometimes you have to just say, okay, this is what's been working. This is what hasn't been working. Let me go back to the drawing table and try it a different way. And then watch rinsing and repeating it that way, you end up finding something that works for you because you weren't scared and too headstrong to say that this is the only way that it's going to work. Because that's frustrating. That could drive you to want to quit. So, trust the process, but definitely don't be afraid to refine it.
I was looking at something other day. I'm glad you all mentioned that because it was something along the lines as far as you put all this work in to get to where you are. You know what I'm saying? And you never know when that breakthrough is gonna come. So why turn around and quit
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
put in all of this work,
Yeah.
did all of the long run,
Yeah.
work and steps that you've taken. So it's easier to quit than to just keep going. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
nobody, like you said, nobody's gonna remember the quitter. Everybody's gonna remember the winner.
Yep.
Um, in the sense. So
Yeah.
it was something along the lines of that. I think I was just looking at some Kevin Hart might have been saying it, or somebody might have been saying it.
Yeah.
But it
I
was just one of
definitely
those, one of those things to kind of train your mentality, your mindset to understand, like, you've gotten so far. You got to always remember where you came from and look at where you're going. And don't, you know what I'm saying, don't shy away from getting out that comfort zone in order to take you to that next level. So,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
that's
like when somebody
how,
hands you a bottle, they've been trying to open it for so long, and then they hand it to you, and you just open it real easy, and they like, well, that's only because I loosened it for you. I opened it, so maybe you should have stuck with it.
You
exactly.
might be like, hey, I appreciate you for loosening it up for me then.
Yeah, exactly. I get the glory.
Hey,
That's
that's
cool, man. And I don't know, man. Like I said, I've been attacking it, like you said, having fun. Because when I started out, I was looking more so business, because I have a finance background. I'm brought up entrepreneurial family.
Okay.
I've seen people create their own businesses and start their own lane,
Mm-hmm.
and so with me, it started to get a little overwhelming when I was looking at my art and my creativity as a business and not looking at having fun anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember you mentioned that earlier about, having fun with your artistry, having fun with your creativity. And I just feel like I've recently kind of just tapped back in. And I've been, recording for a long time, been doing it for a while. And I really actually just started tapping back in and having fun. And I'm seeing the progress and I'm seeing the cadence that I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually getting to that point where it's like, okay, this is who I am and this is what I
Yeah.
want the world to see. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And so to hear you say that, it's just like, wow, it's refreshing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, wow, like we're on the right track. You know what I'm saying? We're doing what we need to do. And I've also, just branded out doing the clothing line and things of that sort. So it's just one of those things
That's a
like,
great place to be, bro.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it's a great space to
Yeah.
actually just enjoy it and have
Yeah.
fun with it and not take it like, oh man, like next step, now what? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of those things where you put it out there and the energy is gonna come back to you. Like you said, you didn't have a rollout, you didn't have, much going on. You just wanted to put it out there and the energy came back to you and it was
Yeah.
reciprocated,
Yeah.
So I look at it like that, man.
so before we get into this game, because I definitely got a game for you before we go. But I do want to ask some things. What do you have, planned up and coming? What's your future endeavors that you got going on? I know you always doing like a concert somewhere. What you got going on next?
So I definitely am hopeful that we can get back to some sort of normalcy as far as live shows and stuff are concerned. Because for a minute I was just doing shows, like I wasn't even putting no music out. I was just doing shows, and like it was bad though, because people would see me rock the show and be like, "Yo, where can I find these songs at?" And I have to be like, "You just found them, like right here. Like this is where you find them." But obviously, like that's not a good place to be in. So I'm excited to build the catalog up this year. Been dropping some loose records here and there, but next month I'm putting out a project. It's gonna be called Lucidity. The project's pretty much done at this point, and we're about to start releasing some video campaigns with that. So we're probably going to drop 3 or 4 singles from it before it drops next month, and just kind of fire those off pretty quickly, and then get the project out and build from there, focusing more on just continuing the conversations going after the project is out. But we'll have a short rollout for it. But super excited about it. It's one of those things where, like you were saying, Swayze, you got to take it seriously because it's what you do. But at the same time, you have to, don't get married to any certain way that it has to go or should go, and just roll with the punches. The biggest example of that is I had a record, or one of the records that we're going to put out first from the project. I had talked about just kind of my battle and just getting back into shape and getting back running and getting back into, physical shape and things like that. And my idea for the video concept was me running doing my morning run, but rapping the song. And I had it in my head how it was gonna look. It was gonna be super dope and everything like that. And I haven't even told anybody. A lot of people probably hear it on the podcast first. But about a month and a half ago, I tore my ACL. Yeah, tore my ACL hooping. I know Quinn QB had said we had that hooping background. I hopped back in the fire a little bit too quickly, ended up tearing my ACL. And it was right before I was set to shoot the video of me running, like in the music video. And so it was just kind of like, dang, like that concept's out the window. But it's just refining and using negatives as positives. So for what we did and flipping it is, all right, let's tell the story about how this is what we planned to do, but it didn't work out. But instead of me running, it's going to show me rehabbing, and I think that that's just a powerful way of using, a negative as a positive and being able to still move on with the plan, even though it wasn't the original plan. So we're really excited to tell those stories, man, and get the project out. So that's definitely something to look out for.
We looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. All the support.
Yes, sir.
Definitely blessings this way, man. Glad you back good from that ACL injury.
Yeah, still currently rehabbing right now, man.
Okay.
But it's forward progress, bro. Forward progress. Had the
Hey.
surgery not too long ago, and so getting better by the day.
Good. My theme before we get to this game, I ask everybody this: are you gonna stay independent? Or are you open to signing as well?
I'm open. Either way it goes. It's just the best advice, because when you have it's hard to answer questions like that without knowing, like, what type of terms or what type of situation you be in. So the thing that kind of stuck with me, advice that I was given, was that whenever you want to do something, figure out what makes the most sense for you and do that. So if there is a situation that comes up down the line where it makes more sense to sign or join forces with a label, I definitely explore those at the time. But as for right now, as for most people in my situation, the best thing you can do is continue to add value to yourself, and then you'll have a lot more leverage in those conversations.
I agree.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. A lot of people, nowadays want to stay independent.
Yeah.
But like you said, don't be fearful about that joint venture.
Yeah.
Don't be fearful about it, because you never know how far it can take you.
Yep.
We do this game on the Make It Make Sense podcast, and I'm going to give you 2 artists. You just tell me which one you think is better musically or however you see them fit.
Oh, damn. All right. Hold on. So it's just that's it. I just tell you who's better. And
yeah, you can give us the reason why as well if you want to. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to, but you can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just tell me who you think better. All right. So Outkast or Outkast or Tribe Called Quest.
Outkast.
Oh, okay. All right.
I gotta touch on that though.
Huh?
I gotta touch on that though, because my background in hip hop wasn't super traditional. Like, I didn't hear Tribe Called Quest until after I had already heard like Kanye. Like, it wasn't like I was well versed in music in general. Like Kanye's College Dropout was my introduction to loving hip hop. So I'm not one of those people that's gonna be like, oh man, like y'all don't know about X, Y, and Z. Like y'all not cultured. I wasn't cultured. Like, so when I heard Kanye, I started listening to Ninth Wonder, finding out about Jay Dilla, finding out about these cats. So for me, Outkast was somebody that I heard first, and that's a sound that like is more dear to me. But yeah,
gotcha.
Outkast wins again.
Outkast win. They undefeated.
Word.
7-0.
I gotta get y'all some features. I know some people who probably pick Tribe Called Quest.
Kendrick or Drake?
Ooh. I gotta go Drake. Just from my listener ear, man. Like my rapper ear is definitely Kendrick, but Like if I just want to relax and just like listen to some music, like Drake, man, like he got vibes for unlimited vibes, like
Yeah,
really. So
yeah.
yeah,
He kind of, I don't know, man. It's undeniable at this moment, man. It's crazy, but
yeah. I
you.
should have known y'all were gonna take it there.
All right, Jay-Z or Nas.
Jay-Z, that's an easy one.
Mm,
Nas
that's
beat
so
selection.
easy.
Nas
Yeah.
beat selection wasn't always where I liked it to be. Like,
Okay.
so for me, like Jay-Z's beat selection puts him over the edge. So
Okay.
yeah,
Bar for bar, I got Nas, but Jay-Z
I'm not mad at that.
clearly picks the best sound
Yeah,
over Nas. Yeah.
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 Okay. Dang, I lost my train of thought when I just started talking about that. But Tupac or Biggie.
Tupac, West Coast.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I'm a Tupac man. I'm a
West
Tupac.
Coast.
I got Biggie. I'm sorry, y'all.
He say Biggie every time. He say Biggie every time. He never fails.
Love Pop, but that Wale or J. Cole.
Cole.
Okay.
Yeah. Wale can rap though. He can.
I think it's kind of honestly, y'all. I think it's more of a Jay-Z and Nas type thing to me. I think Wale picks a better beat selection than J. Cole does, but that's just to me.
That's
I
probably true.
don't. Go ahead, Sabir. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say that I wouldn't deny that. A lot of people are like kind of get a little numb to Cole because he insists on producing all of his stuff, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That's one of the people like they don't really get like a Wale type of palette from Cole because Cole is so insistent on like being his hand and everything and not really having a whole lot of features. But I definitely relate to Cole a little bit more as far as just how he presents his brand, how laser focused he is on his brand's coming up from basketball and just finding his way and that motivational music. Like he really hits home on that. Like he doubles down on that real good, and so that's why I kind of gravitate towards that more.
Okay,
I agree.
my
The
bad.
reason I would say Cole, because to me he's one of a kind, and he brings more so that outcast vibe to me. I don't know why,
Really?
but it's more so that it's like,
I don't know why
a story. I don't know. I feel like I relate to Cole everything, his story, his upbringing. I don't know. I just feel like it resonates with me a little bit more than Wale.
So Big
I'll
Crit
be honest, man. I don't feel like Wale had anything after the Seinfeld mixtape. I just don't hear anything.
Yeah.
After
yeah. That's real.
That's just being real, man. I'm sorry, QB, but hey,
I got to give y'all some albums then. I'm sorry. I got to give y'all the albums, man. But
yeah, that's on the album for sure. You threw Crit in there. Crit made that difficult.
Crit does make that difficult.
Yeah.
So Big Crit or Currency?
Oh,
I go Big Crit.
Oh man.
Oh, we got a fire in the room.
Hey man, hey.
That was a setup.
I ain't gonna lie, Crit has always been a great guy. Every time I've met him, every time I've talked to him, he's always giving me game. Same with Spitter, but every time I meet Crit, I run into Crit.
Yeah,
I always love. You know what I'm saying? So
that's hilarious.
And I remember Crit invited us when I was in a group. Crit like personally invited us to his first show at Tree Sound Studios, and I'll never forget that moment. You know what I'm saying? It always lived with me. So
yeah,
I salute Crit, man. Like I ran into Crit so many times, it's crazy.
So we going with Crit or you going with Currency?
You know I'm going with Spitter now. It's one of those, like you said, it's one of those Nas and Jay-Z things.
Yo, all right. So who do y'all got with this one? Future or Young Thug? I know it's a little different palette for our but
that's definitely Future for me. Young Thug Young Thug got some slappers, but Future's more even keel. Like, you know, like Young Thug could do something super left field sometimes where it's just like, all right, like, yeah,
You're like,
like it's still slap, but like for Future, like for me, I don't need a whole lot to like. I just need a nice vibe, and Future
Gotcha.
just kind of, you know what you're gonna get from him.
For sure. So right now, out of everybody,
Yeah.
who's the who you think is running the top dog right now? Like who is on top?
Shoot, I mean, a while ago I stopped kind of
Listening to people.
that and just kind of like ranking a little bit, sort of say, like who's the hottest or you know who's the best and stuff like that. But
Why did you do that?
because it just it gets too subjective, and it's just like, especially coming up in rap, like I don't want to get too caught up into that wanting to be the best thing and necessarily and just finding like what goals that I wanted that were just like separate from what people qualify you as and things like that. So just kind of being a listener is one thing, to be a listener, but then to also be, you know, actively trying to come up in that industry.
Right.
I wanted to separate a little bit from those conversations and just focus, you know, more so on building myself up in my brand and my craft and being the best artist that I could be. But I tell you what, like I don't really like listen to a whole lot of like, I'm not like first on anything anymore, but like the one artist I'm listening to right now that just doesn't get old to me is Blast from California. I don't know if y'all have heard of bro.
Blast.
BLX.
Yes.
He hard.
Y'all gotta, bro. He just dropped a project called No Love Lost. Y'all gotta go listen to that.
Yeah, he hard.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to that though, but I heard some things before. Yeah.
And he just got that one project out, and it's, you know, like maybe 7 or 8 tracks, but all of them go crazy, and none of them get old. Like,
Gotcha.
that's my favorite thing to listen to right now.
Okay, features with Dom Kennedy, Ty Dolla Tiger. It's crazy.
He's solidified out there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
He vibing out there.
Yeah, he's solidified out there. For sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
He's a little under the radar for mainstream, but he's that type of person. Like his music makes you want to be asked this question so that you can say, "I be listening to Blast." Like, he got music like that, like that you just want to tell somebody, like, this is all I listen to right now. And it's not that often that artist like makes you feel that way. But I'm sure, you know, he's gonna continue to grow and continue to get more popular. But right now it's kind of under the radar. But,
and then people gonna be like, he doesn't have the best songs.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know,
I
didn't try to make a connection between him and Wale or anything, but you know.
Here we go. This Wale stuff. No lie though, I'll tell you my experience about Wale though. I was working in GameStop one day, right?
Okay.
Him and I think his manager at the time, they walked in. You know, he was actually buying video games. Like he had a Nintendo DS. He was buying video games. This is in Camp Creek, bro. Like right up the street from Cleveland Avenue.
Right.
And so he walked in. Nobody else noticed him. Nobody. But he had the dreads at that time, and he was kind of like covering his face. Mm-hmm. And I actually helped him. And that was really the only reason I knew who he was. And, you know, he started talking about this, and he had the albums coming out. He was moving around and stuff. I think this was when he was signed with Rick Ross, though. Mm-hmm. And so he actually was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? He was actually pretty vibing. He was actually pretty cool. But I was just kind of like, he was just, I don't know, it was just like normal. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of like, he had on like pajamas, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you Wale, bro. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, it was normal.
I don't know. It was just kind of like, But he had a fine limo driver though. It was a woman driver.
So he pulled up to GameStop in a limo?
In a limo. In a kind of strip.
Okay, got you. Yeah, nobody was like, who is this dude? Like,
right. That was driver, you know.
I thought you were saying he was being low key.
He was like, you know, tenant. It was probably like 2 or 3, you know, little trucks out there.
Oh man,
yeah, it was low key, man.
But But Sabir, man, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, man. We appreciate you for giving us your insight on who you think is the best,
Yes,
one
sir.
of some of your influences in the rap game. But also, we do want to appreciate you for dropping in, giving them gems about, what you have going on, what you've been going through, the striving to be the best you. You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying? And the growth in your music and your growth as a person, bro. We always, praise that to anybody that come on our show. And striving to continue to do something that you love and passionate about. So
Yes, sir.
kudos to you, my man, for real.
As well, and I
Definitely.
gotta bounce. I gotta bounce the love back to y'all too, because this is definitely dope being on here, and just seeing the platform that you guys have built, being consistent with it. That's something that fuels me. So this has definitely got me charged up as well.
It's
That's what's
lit.
up. Once ways, what you got, man?
Compilation, man. We got to have you on it. We've
Gotta
been
come.
we've been in the works and speaking. We gonna work it out. I'm trying to get QB to DJ it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hope he bring back out the skills a little bit. But
Okay.
like we've been doing this Tuesday to Den, so we want some of the artists to kind of do a compilation and just put it together and see how it works out. And we gonna make it make sense. So
Yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
said, man, he kind of took the wheel on that one, man. Continue your road to success, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Anything that we can do to help out, highlight, you know what I'm saying? We can put you on a commercial, 30 seconds, minute, whatever you got, send it to us. And we can preview it, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got, we here to support. And
We here.
definitely, man, let's link up, let's network, let's stay connected, man. Maybe we can do some stuff together.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to it.
Definitely.
For sure, man. Well, make it make sense. We make it
Hey,
make sense.
man.
We make it make sense every time, man. And we always appreciate our guests for coming on the show. Mr. Sabir, best wishes to you, my brother. One Swayze, QB, we out, man. Peace and blessings.
Deuces.